Hello, I'm Gary Supreme here for Sacktown Slam, and I'm going to do a Royal Rumble review for all of you. Now, obviously, I'm still here. I still have my channel, which is awesome, and I'm going to be bringing you more content and a better setup very soon. Because things are already in motion to do so. Just give it a week. But for now, I'm not going to not do something on the Royal Rumble. So, overall, number one, I think they should have saved the Andrade versus Rey Mysterio match for tonight instead of doing it on Monday, which made zero sense, by the way. That was a very high-stakes match, and I noticed they had Rey Mysterio out there, but they didn't do Andrade for some reason in the Rumble. And that to me didn't make a whole lot of sense. Some of the things they did with the men's Rumble didn't make a lot of sense, but overall I'm happy with it because of where it is going. So, but I'm not gonna spoil the end for you. I'm happy, though, because the right people won tonight. And that's, other than the Women's Rumble, which we will get to, that annoyed me to no end. Excuse me, I am getting way too much flash off of some lights here. And I would rather you guys get quality content. And while I'm fixing this, remember to subscribe and leave a like. That means a lot to any channel, especially channels like this that may or may not be seen by too many subscribers. So any new people that want to subscribe, please. It's not like it's going to cost you anything. I could just use the subscribers. So, anyway, getting back to the point, most of the right people won tonight, with the exception of the Women's Rumble. I mean, you had the two women's matches, which you kind of figured that Bayley and Becky were both going to come out the winners there. I mean, there is no one else, though. And until Ronda Rousey or, Shayna Baszler officially shows up on the main roster, which we don't know. She could show up tomorrow night, for all we know, as she did show up in the Rumble. But it's important to know that this is... It is not important that we rehash history. Because tonight's Women's Rumble winner was Charlotte. And I feel like Charlotte gets so many chances. Like, abundantly so many chances. And there was so much talent in that Rumble. My God, the stock of Bianca Belair just skyrocketed after what she did in that Rumble. She lasted uber long for a Women's Rumble. And her and Beth Phoenix, please take my money. That was amazing. I feel like a lot of the women are left out because why? And that's really my question. You know, there's so much great talent there. And that's one of my reasons that I do love the Women's Rumble, is because there are no Brock Lesnars, you know? So there's so much of a display of talent at one time. Yeah, the matches are a little bit of a cluster, but what are you going to do, you know? Anyway, in short, I'm going to get to the Rumble, get to my notes. So, they had a nice little opening with Stone Cold. It was in Houston, Texas, so, you know, you gotta figure anything in Texas, it's going to be Stone Cold! And so, anyway, the first match was the Falls Count Anywhere match with Roman Reigns and King Corbin. You know, the match was okay. Yeah, overall, typical match. They fought around the arena. You know, here in my notes, I've got that there was a moment where Corbin had the stairs. And I noticed that when he went to hit him with the stairs, when his head was facing downwards, he flinched a little bit, because that would be hitting him hard ways if he'd be hitting the top of his head with the stairs. He waited till he had his head face up, and then he went to go hit him. I don't know if that's a botch, but it was very noticeable. So, just you know, put that out there. And then, you know, I didn't mind when Reigns choke slammed Corbin through the table and did the Samoan drops through the table. I mean, it was your basic street fight. I'm not going to say it was a down match, but it got very predictable once, you know, Rude and Ziggler showed up, and then you had the Usos show up. Although, oh man, I don't know if it was Jimmy or Jay, but they took a nasty spot when it was like a belly to back slam or something on top of an actual guardrail. That looked painful. Like, ugh, like that. I would never want to take one of those kinds of spots. That is just ugly. So, you know, Roman Reigns wins the match. Don't have a time here because I think I was eating dinner at this point. So, it was entertaining, but was it like, oh my god, I'm going to remember this 10 years from now? No, not really. Let's see. Anyway, then you had the Women's Rumble, which this was fairly entertaining. And it did get pretty crazy at times, just because of what happened. So, your first entrants were Alexa Bliss, who entered in at number 1, and then you had Bianca Belair. Like I said earlier, Bianca Belair had a friggin' amazing showing tonight. Like, I am not even joking. If you have WWE Network, you need to go back and watch how awesome she was. Like, I swear on everything that is holy, if that woman does not get a huge main roster push because of this, they're stupid in WWE. That woman tore it up tonight. Like, even the commentators were like, oh my God, oh my God. You can just imagine Mauro Ranallo, Mamma Mia! You know, because I guarantee that's what he would have been doing. Like, but let me continue to explain. Okay, your first entrant was Alexa Bliss. Then you had Bianca Belair. Then you had Molly Holly. Then you had Nikki Cross. Then you had Lana come out. And I noticed that she was in a Captain Marvel onesie with matching boots and gloves. I am not even kidding you. Excuse me. Let's do that right. I'm not even kidding you, okay? Like, legit. And first of all, this movie came out almost a year ago. And B, it was very controversial because Brie Larson is a very Seth Rollins type who does not know when to keep their mouth shut. So, I really, I don't know what else to say to that. Then you had, let me see, Mercedes Martinez. Then you had Liv Morgan. Now, Lana eliminated Liv Morgan, and then Liv Morgan got eliminated in retaliation by Lana. Now, this is one of the things I hate about these female rumbles, or these male rumbles, or any rumbles. Why should someone who's eliminated get to therein eliminate you and have it count as an elimination? That's bullcrap. They need to eliminate that as a stipulation. I hate those kind of eliminations. Earn your stuff. Don't sit there and have these stupid spots with retaliation. I don't get how you can even think that this is, in that perspective, how that's even fair to the opponent. I hate those type of things in these type of matches. I would rather someone win it clean than have someone not win it clean. And that's always been my perspective with wrestling. Win it clean. Or if you're going to be a heel, you know, I don't mind the dragging of the trunks and that kind of stuff, but that's still a clean pin in technicality. You know, and again, the same thing with the using the ropes. It's not necessarily a clean pin, but it's a pin, you know. But in these battle royals, after you've been eliminated, saying that you can eliminate someone therein after you've been eliminated just seems stupid and pointless, and seems like it defeats the purpose of the battle royal. But that's just me. Anyway, getting back to my notes here. Let's see. We had the mighty Molly Holly come out next. And she came out to the friggin' Hurricanes music. I was kind of confused, wondering if where's Hurricane and why is she coming out to the Hurricanes music? But I'm like, whatever. It was pretty funny. So, oh no, excuse me, I was down to Liv Morgan. Then we had Mandy Rose and Candice LeRae. It's nice to see Candice LeRae get some Rumble time. You know, I think she deserves it. Now, we had let's see. Molly Holly was eliminated by Bianca Belair. Then we had Sonya Deville and Kairi Sane. We had Mia Yim come out, Dana Brooke come out to meet. I'm just going to go through this because I didn't have times next to the eliminations, which I really should have. So I'm just going, I mean, they're in order of, but I need to keep track of times more. Guess that's on me. So I've already gone over who else has come out. So then you had Dakota Kai, then you had Chelsea Green, then you had Charlotte come out, then you had Naomi come out, then you had Beth Phoenix come out, then you had Toni Storm come out, which that got me pretty excited. I like the fact that they're including the UK brand into this, because they have been a pretty big draw for the WWE in that era. Then you had Kelly come out. Then you had Sarah Logan come out. Then you had Natalya come out. Then you had Xia Li come out. Then you had Zelina Vega come out. Then you had Shotzi Blackheart, which this just blew my mind because, believe it or not, I've worked with this woman before. And I know people who have also worked with this woman before. I'm so proud to see that she's gone from the California scene to being in the Royal Rumble. I mean, props to you, Shotzi, for pulling this off. I mean, I know she didn't win, but still, I'm very proud to see NorCal get some representation here. Then you had Carmella. Then you had Tegan Nox. Then you had Santina Marella, which, whatever. And then you had Shayna Baszler come out at number 30. Okay, so you had Molly Holly was eliminated Bianca Belair. Mercedes Martinez was eliminated by Fire and Desire as a team. They just picked her up and chucked her over the ropes. So Nikki Bella was eliminated by Bianca Belair. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville tried to eliminate Bianca Belair, and she chucked them over the ropes. Let's see. Candice LeRae was eliminated by Bianca Belair. Kairi Sane was eliminated by Alexa Bliss. Tamina was eliminated by Bianca Belair, and apparently she sets the record at 6 for eliminating one person in a single match. Mia Yim was eliminated by Alexa Bliss. Dakota Kai was eliminated by Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green was eliminated by Bianca Belair. Dana Brooke was eliminated by Bianca Belair. Alexa Bliss was eliminated by Bianca Belair. Do you see where I'm going with this? Why not let this woman go all the way? I mean, if you have no plans of pushing her in NXT, why not come out and say she's the EST of whatever brand she chooses to challenge against by having a huge showing? I mean, if you, with a showing like that, it just leaves one to wonder, why? Why not? And I will forever be wondering that about this particular Rumble, why she didn't win. Because it feels like they don't have any plans for her imminently anyway down in NXT. So why not let her win? Anyway, Bianca Belair was then eliminated by Charlotte. Now, kind of saw that one coming, and I figured whoever eliminated Belair was probably going to be the winner. But Kelly was eliminated by Charlotte. Then you had Santina eliminating herself because she pulled out the Cobra. It did not scare Beth Phoenix or Natalya. And she just ran right over the ropes. So, okie dokie then. So that happened. Then you had, let me see, where am I in my notes here? Then you had Xia Li eliminate Tegan Nox, or Xia Li, Tegan Nox were eliminated by Shayna Baszler. Toni Storm and Candice LeRae, Naomi were eliminated by Baszler, and then Baszler was eliminated by Natalya. Hold on. Shayna eliminated Beth Phoenix, and then Shayna was eliminated by Charlotte. The total of the Rumble was 53 minutes and 58 seconds. A lot of people predicted Shayna to win this. I get the feeling that they went with a different option at the last minute and decided to say, ha ha ha, at all these people on YouTube for predicting Shayna Baszler or Ronda Rousey coming back or something crazy of that ilk. Here's my problem, though. Why Charlotte? First of all, haven't we done Charlotte and Bayley already to death? And haven't we done Charlotte and Becky to death? Why does it have to be Charlotte? I don't get it with this company. Charlotte does not need to be your focal piece. She's already a star. You couldn't let Bianca Belair win that Rumble after that kind of a showing? Really? I mean, really? I mean, you look at what happened with Mandy Rose, which was also funny. She pulled kind of a Kofi kind of moment. Because Otis, how does Otis hide under the ring? But he did. And when Mandy was being tossed over the top rope, Otis climbed out from under the ring and caught her. Yes, and this was at about 12 minutes in. I like it. I like where this is going, but I don't know where it ends, is the thing. Other than that, man, I would have let either Bianca Belair, Toni Storm, I know some of these are names that not everyone's going to know, but I think people are going to remember Bianca Belair after this Rumble. She went out there and had an amazing showing. I cannot stress that enough. I just... And I feel like Nikki Cross. She got into being Nikki Cross again. And not this tame, humanized person we used to seeing. She was throwing her jacket on the ground and, like, acting like she was all feral and needed shots, you know. Like, come at me! Ah! You know, like, good. You know, that's what we need. I don't know why Lana needed to even be in there. Like, why? Especially after what we heard after the fact, which I'll get to in a minute. Again, just all NXT people would have been people I'd have liked to win the Rumble. Or this particular Rumble. Anyway, after this match, which I kind of looked at this as a cool-down match, it was Bayley versus Lacey Evans. It was pretty cookie-cutter. It didn't really impress me super much. It was very much seemed like a down spot for the pay-per-view. You know, Bayley faked a knee injury during the match. And then elbowed Lacey in the face. And then Bayley won on a roll-up pin. Which is like, okay. But, whatever. You know, she continues her streak as SmackDown Women's Champion. Please, someone else. Now, we've had Lacey Evans 2 times. No more Lacey Evans. Back of the line, lady. I think it's time. And she's had shots at both the Raw and SmackDown women's titles and lost both times. I think someone else needs to have their star grow brighter now. Put some stock, as far as SmackDown goes, into a Mandy Rose, into a Sonya Deville, into someone else that is on that roster. I don't even know what women are on the SmackDown women's roster, to be honest. That's how little we see. I mean, you've got Sasha Banks, but how little do we see Sasha Banks? We didn't even see her in the Rumble tonight. That's another thing that I noticed. Why? Why did that happen? And I sit here and I just wonder, why did Charlotte get a spot, but not Sasha Banks? It's because the company's probably upset with her over what I don't know. But when you're letting in people like Santina, which that may very well have been a spot that you could have used for someone like Sasha Banks, but you didn't use it. Now, this could also be building towards Elimination Chamber, and I could be proven wrong. So, I'm, forever hopeful and always proven wrong by this company. But, hey, it is what it is. I feel like I think Sasha Banks had the perfect opportunity to, number one, with Becky winning tonight, which happens later on, and Bayley retaining, which they both retained, you have a heel and a face. She could either go face against Bayley or go heel against Becky. There's your answer. Now that would be moving her from SmackDown to Raw. And, Fox or USA may have said, I'm not doing that. So they may have had finite options to choose from under these new TV deals. Again, I'm not saying I know any of this for a fact. I'm just speculating here. Anyway, The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan was the next match. This match went 18 minutes and 52 seconds. And every minute of it was brutal. This was probably, as far as singles matches go, the highlight of the night. My goodness, this match was brutal. Brutality. This was for the Universal title. So, one of the funnier parts of the match was The Fiend went over to the American announce table, and Michael Cole was like, "Get the hell away from here! Ooga booga! Ooga booga! Ooga booga!" Trust me, it happened. There was lots of people whipping each other. This was brutal. Like, at the end of the match, when the referee's putting on plastic gloves that somebody's probably either bleeding or they're cut and could be bleeding, it's pretty lethal. I don't want to say lethal, it's pretty brutal would be the appropriate way of saying. These strap matches are crazy. There was a mid-air Sister Abigail on Daniel Bryan. Oh my goodness. He went for one of those running kicks, and then Bray Wyatt turned it into a Sister Abigail. The spot looked just like, oh my god. They replayed it during the pay-per-view too, because it looked pretty brutal. It did. And, every bit of this match was produced well. There was a spot where Daniel Bryan had the Fiend, and, the strap was, it was 13 feet long, which was stated over the microphone. And, he was using it to sit there and bang his head against the post. That's how brutal it got. So, the segments of this match, just, I liked the way it was produced. In the end, it was the Mandible Claw, which got Daniel Bryan, and the winner was, of course, The Fiend. Now, with the winner being Drew McIntyre, my guess is he's going to go after Lesnar. Because he's a Raw guy, and why not go after Lesnar? He's always launted Lesnar. So, this leaves things very, very open for The Fiend. Now, they may send Roman after him anyway, but you never know. WrestleMania's very, I don't know, man. Then after that, we had Asuka versus Becky Lynch. I liked this match. It was a good, solid match. It went about 16 minutes and 30 seconds. I think it went a little long, but it was about what it should have been. So, obviously it's for the Raw Women's title. Yeah, Becky did this incredible body slam to Asuka outside of the ring. And she, like, picked her up and just chucked her outside the ring. And it looked like she had a nasty spill during the match. Like, because the ref went to check on her, and it was... I don't know if she took a bad bump or something, but it looked pretty brutal. There was also a point where Becky took... there was a point where the two of them... Asuka was kicking Becky, and Becky was, like, trying to, like, body check Asuka. They both landed awkwardly in the ring. They both fell down. Asuka got back up, but the referee was checking on Becky. Asuka wanted to kick her ass, but, you know, the referee wanted to check on Becky, and the crowd just started booing. And to that extent, I don't blame them. If she can't go, then call the match. Don't, you know, extend the drama. But sometimes referees need a minute, and sometimes they like to suspend the drama and everything. It's a thing. I think that the more people realize that referees are very much a part of the action, that, you know, it'll just be accepted. But, you know, Becky won with an interesting combo, man. Asuka almost had me there when she locked in the disarmer, and they were just, or Asuka had the Asuka lock, excuse me, and then Becky swapped it around into a disarmer. It looked like a Rubik's Cube kind of thing. Like, what are you guys doing? But they know each other well. This is a feud that, as long as you don't drill it into the ground like Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black, Andrade, yeah, but, you know, as long as they don't drill it into the ground, it's a great feud that you can go back to and revisit. And, you know, Asuka has some, you know, Undertaker-like repayment to do, but does WWE have the collective consciousness to realize they have two stories there to tell? Becky and Charlotte. Asuka needs a win over both of them now. And they all happen to be on the same show. Just a thought there. Just a teeny tiny little thought. Because Asuka's too good to not be using. I don't want to hear her on a flute playing songs from the Ocarina of Time. Okay? Use this woman. She's too talented to not be being used. Now, we have the men's match for the Royal Rumble. The funny thing is that, beforehand you had the Street Profits talking again, One made a joke about Ricochet being kicked in the dick, which, whoop-de-doo, I'm sure he'd do that to you guys too. But, and then there was something that I found very suspicious, and I think a lot of people were angry about. That Lashley and Rusev were removed from the field of the Rumble. First of all, I've always wanted to see both of those men against Brock Lesnar, and they were removed from the field. Regardless of what you had in store for us, that was bad call. Anyway, I'm just going to announce the field, and then I will say who is in it, or who was eliminated and when. So, obviously, Brock Lesnar was number 1. Then you had Elias. Then you had Eric Rowan. Then you had Bobby Roode. Then you had John Morrison. Then you had Kofi Kingston. Then you had Rey Mysterio. Then you had Big E. Then you had Cesaro. Then you had Shelton Benjamin. Then you had Shinsuke Nakamura. Then you had surprise number 1, MVP. Yes, I'm not joking. It was MVP. Then you had Keith Lee, which I was very happy to see was in the Rumble. I just wish he had gotten more time, which I'll explain in a moment. Then you had Braun Strowman. Then you had Ricochet. Then you had Drew McIntyre. Then you had The Miz. Then you had AJ Styles. Then you had Dolph Ziggler. Then you had Carl Anderson. Then you had the one everyone was expecting, Edge. Folks, this wasn't a surprise. We all knew he was going to be there. He kind of spoiled it for us. Then we had King Corbin. Then we had Matt Riddle. Coming out so late, this dude should have won the Rumble. He's always wanted to retire Brock Lesnar. Why not give him his shot? Look, I know this guy has said and done some stupid things. But look at what he's done. Give him that shot. Even if he was to lose, you send him back down to NXT. Anyway, you had Luke Gallows, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Aleister Black, Samoa Joe, and Seth Rollins. That's another thing I'm going to say. Aleister Black coming out at 27 could have wiped the field. And should have wiped the field. I'm shocked that he did not win this. But given whom was left, yeah, it just, I'm not entirely disappointed with the result, but the first half of the Rumble was rather boring, as you will hear in the results. So, Elias was eliminated by Lesnar. Rowan was eliminated by Brock Lesnar in 8 seconds, apparently. Robert Roode was eliminated by Lesnar by an F5 over the rope. Morrison was eliminated by Lesnar in 9 seconds. 9 seconds. John Morrison, who hasn't been in the WWE for 9 years, comes back, goes into the Royal Rumble, and is eliminated in 9 seconds. What is this, the year that Brock Lesnar defeats people in 10 seconds or less? Give me a fucking break. And excuse my French, but that is the absolute most ridiculous thing ever. Mysterio and Big E are then eliminated by Lesnar. And then Kofi was eliminated by Lesnar. Now, before this happened, they had done the big ending, the 619 and Trouble in Paradise. Because at this point, Brock was starting to look like a grape. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought at this point was when it was over. And then Brock just went into beast mode and decided, no, I'm going to eliminate you anyway. Cesaro came out and was then eliminated by Lesnar. It didn't take him long to eliminate Cesaro either. Shelton Benjamin. They tried. Benjamin was like, yeah, we're former tag partners. Let's take out everybody. He sat there, they hugged, and everybody kind of had a feel-good moment. Then Lesnar threw him over the top rope. So, Benjamin was eliminated by Lesnar. Then Nakamura was eliminated by Lesnar. They had a good fight and a nice little standoff in the ring. I'd be interested in seeing where they could go with that. But I doubt WWE has the cojones to go forward with something like that. But those two couldn't battle it off. And they definitely, to me, again, that's one of those guys that I feel like they have this rinse and repeat with Brock Lesnar. I'm so glad McIntyre ends up in the end. But anyway, MVP got eliminated by Lesnar. He showed up, got eliminated quick. He got his Royal Rumble payday. I think that was about it. And then Keith Lee and Braun Strowman were eliminated, I believe, at the same time by Lesnar. Because they were fighting Lesnar, and then they started fighting each other, and I'm like, you guys, you're taking your eye off the ball. You should just be eliminating Lesnar, but they didn't do it. And then Lesnar eliminated the both of them. So, let's see. Then McIntyre eliminated Lesnar after Lesnar was beaten on Ricochet because Ricochet hit him with a low blow. And then McIntyre, I believe, did a Claymore kick outside to Brock and hit him outside the ring. It looked pretty devastating looking. So at that point, the whole feel of the Royal Rumble changed. I mean, Brock was pretty damn red. He's redder than a crayon in a Crayola box, folks. I mean, this guy did not look good. He had huffed and puffed, but he couldn't blow any more houses down. So, you had McIntyre eliminated Ricochet. After that, then you had Miz was eliminated by McIntyre. AJ was eliminated by Edge after that. Riddle was eliminated by Corbin. Now, this, I think, was paying dues. I think they are still upset with him about the Goldberg thing. I honestly do. Because why Corbin? But such is life. I wish he had had more of a stint. He really did not last very long in the Rumble, which was disappointing. McIntyre eliminated Corbin shortly after that. Orton and Edge eliminated Gallows and Anderson after that. We had a little rated RKO reunion, which was cool. Ziggler was eliminated by Roman Reigns. Aleister Black was eliminated by Rollins. I get the feeling this is how Aleister Black joins up with, Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, and Kevin Owens. And then they have their own little clique of people. And you're going to see some little warfare thing going on at either the Saudi show or Elimination Chamber, potentially. You had Kevin Owens eliminated by Rollins. Joe, who was eliminated by Rollins. And the reason this happened was because AOP and oh, jeez. Now I can't remember his name. But anyway, you had Buddy Murphy. That's it. Buddy Murphy, and you had AOP out there helping Rollins eliminate people. Which, again, why are we counting these as eliminations again? Like, are we saying this is a no disqualification match? Can people just go grab chairs and kendo sticks and ladders and be all honky-dory with it? Is this the type of match that we're running? I'm perplexed by what, because these matches have such difficult rules, like you have to stay in the ring. And I feel like these battle royals, especially the Royal Rumble, I mean, why would that be a thing? Anyway, so Kevin Owens and Joe were eliminated by Rollins. Rollins was eliminated by McIntyre. Edge was eliminated Orton, and Orton was none too pleased about that. Because, Orton was about to turn on Edge, and then Edge instead turned on Orton. And then Edge was then eliminated by Roman. And then Roman, and this is where I really started to sweat. I'm like, oh God, here it comes. And the spear, and then the drive-by, and then Superman punch, and then he gets thrown over the top rope, right? Not how it happened. McIntyre won and threw Roman over the top rope. So McIntyre will be headed probably to the main event of WrestleMania. Now, where do we go from here? Because your Royal Rumble winners were Charlotte and McIntyre. Charlotte is probably going to go after Becky. I'm not pleased about this for two reasons. Number one, nobody wanted Charlotte and Becky again. Barf! Please. Shayna Baszler would have been better than Charlotte. Ronda Rousey would have been better than Charlotte. Anybody, in my opinion, would have been better than Charlotte. You could have saved Charlotte for Elimination Chamber. Royal Rumbles are where people can stake their name. Charlotte has 10 damn titles. She staked her name, I think, enough. I think everyone knows who Charlotte Flair is. as far as McIntyre, I'm very happy to see this happen for him. He's worked very hard since coming back. He's become the NXT champion. He went from NXT he was a tag team champion for a little while. He paid his dues. He was a part of some ridiculous stables throughout 2018. 2019 was pretty lackluster, and it seemed like he was more a henchman than anything. And now he's finally paving that pathway to what he and who he wants to be. I honestly believe that we are about to see the best of McIntyre. Like what the McIntyre we wanted to see like years ago. Like when he first came back and first left NXT into WWE. We also got a first glimpse of him versus Aleister Black. And Aleister Black masked him. There was a spot in that Royal Rumble match where he got black masked nasty. And he just went, just like twisted around sideways. It was nasty. I'm glad that McIntyre won. I'm glad it wasn't Roman Reigns. Because, in all honesty, Roman, he's probably just going to get the title shot anyway. So, why does he have to win the Royal Rumble? I mean, that's my personal perspective on it. I mean, if he didn't win the Rumble, he's going to win Elimination Chamber. And you heard that here first. He is winning Elimination Chamber. Guaranteed. It's probably going to be for a shot at the Fiend at WrestleMania. He's winning Elimination Chamber. Guaranteed. That's how they're going to play that. And if they don't, and they just give it to him, then that's just creatively lazy. So, but we will see how this gets handled. But overall tonight, I'd say it was an up show. I think I would have played certain things differently. But you can't get everything you want. I'm not gonna apologize for them eliminating 13 people at the hands of Brock Lesnar before he finally got friggin' eliminated. By the way, he was staring down Brock Lesnar something fierce during that Rumble, which was another reason I was afraid he was gonna get eliminated, because of the fact that, oh gee, some idiot can come in and eliminate you even though they're not even in the match. So, I was very afraid. It was also rather funny when the crowd started singing, nah, 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 hey, 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 goodbye to Brock Lesnar. That was classic. Classic. So, honestly, overall, I'd give this pay-per-view a B. I don't think it's an A echelon. I mean, I don't know. The women's title matches could have been better. The strap match was great. The outcomes for all three singles matches were absolutely what I thought they were. Or would be. The outcome for the women's was not what I wanted it to be at all. I mean, why is everything Charlotte? That's the thing. I don't get it. I mean, this woman, I suppose, I guess give her moment in the sun now so she's not in Money in the Bank. But then again, they'll just put her in Money in the Bank anyway, which drives me crazy. But hey, if she's going to be at WrestleMania, whatever, you know. I'll be curious to see who she wants to fight. My guess is they're putting both Rumble winners on Raw because Raw is suffering. Raw is suffering 1,000 deaths right now, and this keeps SmackDown interesting because now nobody knows who Bayley's gonna face, and you know, and nobody knows who the Fiend is gonna face. Now, the rumors about Roman winning the Rumble, I'm glad were over exaggerated. And I'm glad that this is just... I'm glad the men's Rumble turned out the way it did. The strap match was about what I thought it was going to be. And the women's matches were... I mean, Becky was pretty good. I mean, Bayley was very cookie cutter. I mean, it wasn't... It could have been a Raw or a SmackDown match, in my opinion. I did not catch the U.S. title match tonight because, again, I don't watch pre-show matches. If it ain't on the main show, it ain't worth watching. So my guess is, given that it was on the pre-show, probably there was no title change, which puts Humberto Carrillo as a loser. So, my guess that, Chad Gable and, Sheamus was on the pre-show tells me Sheamus probably won. Because that's an obvious pick. Now, I don't even know if I'm correct here. I could be 100% wrong. In fact, let me get my phone real quick. Let's see if I'm correct in this or not. Okay, so... let's see. Hate it when these things take so long to load. Give me a moment. Guess I'll have to look this up through my Google because they changed that. Okay. So... Okay, I'm not looking for the main matches. Hate how these things take so long to freaking load. Okay. So, yep, Sheamus defeated Chad Gable by pinfall. Kind of what I figured would happen. And Andrade defeated Humberto Carrillo by pinfall. Kind of what I figured would happen. So, yeah, I didn't even need to look at that to know that I was right. So, basically, and, you know, the singles matches all kind of were, I mean, they were cool, but I would have rather had the Intercontinental title on the line than, you know, some of these other singles matches that didn't mean anything. And B, again, Vince doesn't like tag teams. We've heard this from his own mouth. Why? You are wasting such an opportunity at this point because you're getting beat down by AEW in the tag team department. And, you know, you're having to super glue tag teams together like Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins. Like, for real, man. Like, on Monday night, I had to wonder why those titles didn't go to AOP. Are these guys just, like, henchmen? Like, really? I don't feel that way. And I don't think that they should be. But, anyway, I think that's pretty much my thoughts on the Royal Rumble. I'm absolutely ecstatic that Drew McIntyre won. I think that Charlotte winning is a bit suspect, but she's a Flair. She's going to get what she wants. If she doesn't feel like she's getting enough attention, she's going to get attention. Just like anybody from, you know, the Samoan dynasty. Then if they're not getting attention, they're going to get attention. So, but I think Roman, I would not bet against Roman and The Fiend just yet. I think it'll happen. I think how the company might have felt was, why do you need the Rumble to fight The Fiend when we can just, not organically, I don't think anybody's going to organically say it happened, but we can just give you the match instead of have you win the Royal Rumble and take away a shot at somebody else. You see, that's common sense that I wish WWE would use more often, because you made a new star tonight. Rollins, as of late, is getting into Twitter trouble, which might be another, interesting thing to talk about, is people getting into Twitter trouble. Because, boy, howdy, the last couple of months is bad. So, but that's another topic for another time. So, let me move my notes here. I'm still going to say this was an up show. I think that it definitely had me going. And I thought that when Shayna Baszler came out at number 30, it was over. I wasn't really sure that Charlotte would win, and then Charlotte won. I mean, could Shayna Baszler go after Charlotte? That's another thing that could happen. Could this be setting up horsewomen versus horsewomen? That's another thing that could happen. I don't know. I mean, God help me, I'd love to see horsewomen versus horsewomen, but they've yet to deliver that to us. So, we will see what happens in the coming days and weeks. So, I am Gary Supreme, and I am signing off. And remember, please hit subscribe and leave a thumbs up. Maybe even leave a comment leave a comment and in the description. And if you liked, didn't like something, or agree or disagree. And I am signing off.